It is better to be alone than in bad company. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. If the freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may lead like sheep to the slaughter. To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of persevering peace. Truth will ultimately prevail where there is no pains to bring it to light. Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism. True friendship is a plant of slow growth and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity before it is entitled to the appellation. Happiness and moral duty are inseparably connected. Observe good faith and justice toward all nations. Cultivate peace and harmony with all. Liberty, when it begins to take root, is a plant of rapid growth. I hope I shall possess firmness and virtue enough to maintain what I consider the most enviable of all titles, the character of an honest man. The basis of our political system is the right of the people to make and alter their constitutions of government. Few men have virtue to withstand the highest bidder. Let your heart feel for the afflictions and distress of everyone, and let your hand give in proportion to your purse. The time is near at hand which must determine whether Americans are to be free men or slaves. Mankind, when left to themselves, are unfit for their own government. I walk on untrodden ground. There is scarcely any part of my conduct which may not hereafter be drawn into precedent. I walk on untrodden ground. There is scarcely any part of my conduct which may not hereafter be drawn into precedent. Friendship is a plant of slow growth and must undergo and withstand the shocks of adversity. Someday, following the example of United States of America, there will be a United States of Europe. I am persuaded you will permit me to observe that the path of true pity is so plain as they require but little political direction. Bad seed is a robbery of the worst kind, for your pocketbook not only suffers by it, but your preparations are lost and a season passes away unimproved. It may be laid down as a primary position and the basis of our system that every citizen who enjoys the protection of a free government owes not only a proportion of his poverty but even of his personal services to the defense of it. There can be no greater error than to expect or calculate upon real favors from nation to nation. It is an illusion which experience most cure, which is a just pride ought to discard. Be courteous to all, but intimate with few, and let those few be well tried before you give them confidence. It is better to offer no excuse than a bad one. My first wish is to see this plague of mankind, war, banished from the earth. Discipline is the soul of the army. It makes small numbers formidable, procures success to the weak, and esteem to all. Let us raise a standard to which the wise and honest can repair. The rest is in the hands of God. Worry is the interest paid by those who borrow trouble. It will be found an unjust and unwise jealousy to deprive a man of his natural liberty upon the supposition he may abuse it. We should not look back unless it is to derive useful lessons from past errors and for the purpose of profiting by dearly bought experience. The foolish and wicked practice of profane cursing and swearing is a vice so mean and low that every person of sense and character detests and despise it. Laws made by common consent must not be trampled on by individuals. Labor to keep alive in your breast that little spark of celestial fire called conscience. Let your discourse with men of business be short and comprehensive. Arbitrary power is most easily established on the ruins of liberty abused to licentiousness. Experience teaches us that it is much easier to prevent an enemy from posting themselves than it is to dislodge them after they have got possession. I have no other view than to promote the public good and am unambitious of honors not founded in the approbation of my country. It is impossible to reason without arriving at a supreme being. A slender acquaintance with the world must convince every man that actions, not words, are the true criteria of the attachment of friends. Our grown military establishments are, under any form of government, inauspicious to liberty and are to be regarded as particularly hostile to republican liberty. Lenience will operate with greater force, in some instances, than rigor. It is therefore my first wish to have all my conduct. There is nothing which can better deserve our patronage than the promotion of science and literature. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. When we assumed the soldier, we did not lay aside the citizen. No punishment, in my opinion, is too great for the man who can build his greatness upon the country's